Yeah, sorry for that having network issues. So we're talking about CrewAI versus Agno, right? So Agno is basically built on the LangChain framework, and it's very basic, kind of just creating agents. Um, Simplest way of creating an agent and using it. Whereas CrewAI is more sophisticated and robust. It's not built on LangChain. It's built on their own engine that they have built for orchestration and for building the um, collaboration between the agents is much more sophisticated. Basically, the process they have this role based, basically where each agent can have a specific role that it can play. I mean, it's not that you cannot do it with Agno. With Agno also, you can give it in the context and instructions. It's the same thing. But here it is abstracted at a highest level, that, an agent itself can play a role in the entire ecosystem, different agents. And then they have built in a crew based where, all the agents can be part of the crew. Agno was initially like multi-agents. Each agent was actually given were created as tools for the supervisor agent. So we kind of worked around to create multi-agent system, but now I think that now it has evolved, added those features. But Agno was from day one had this complete orchestration process where you have a crew and then where you have all of these agents that can be part of the crew that you can run. The role is basically, it's not very strict kind of RBAC kind of a thing that you define. It's just more like to give an understanding of what each agent is focusing on for the crew for a better orchestration. Okay. And rest of all, basically any platform will do the same thing. But how efficiently tries to break down all of that questions into the smaller tasks, and how efficiently it can um, delegate it to the orchestrate it to the agents, and how efficiently it can critique the response that it is getting and making sure to rerun it with the same agent or a different agent. So all of these are um, like features, benchmark against each other when you do the when you do comparison, as you said. As such, when you say if you want to start, learn, do some POCs and small, can go for Agno. If you want to do a robust, scalable thing which has smart features and production kind of a thing, you can use CrewAI. But of course, as I said, there are other platforms as well. The hyperscalers all have that agentic applications. You can choose any of them. It's again use case to use case. For example, say you can define all of the agent tasks and everything as YAML files in the CrewAI, which is not there in the Agno framework. But however, it's not like something, it's a feature. It's more like convenience feature. You can build as YAML and then run it as a agent, as a code in that. So there are several that kind of features that basically has evolved in the CrewAI platform more than the Agno framework when you compare to it. Okay. Let me share my screen again. We'll get back here. We want to do. So open source, we have enterprise. Let me hide this. There's a CrewAI Studio. Remember, we talked about Langflow, which is a drag and drop kind of a thing. So you see here, this is Okay. CrewAI Studio, where you can build, run, trace, deploy agentic workflow with drag and drop interface, no coding required. So initially, this was not there. Initially, CrewAI was only library-based Python libraries, but recently, they also have come up with the Studio. We will be exploring only the code. Studio we'll see later. It's same like if you see here, I don't know why it's not showing completely. Visual editor, where you can just drag and drop, just like you have seen in the Langflow, same or Autogen, same kind of drag and drop. You can add and attach components into this. That's the Studio for an AI Studio for Enterprise. Uh, Tracing built in. Of course, we will see how tracing, monitoring, evaluation will be with our Langsmith when we do the observability. But there's a workflow tracing, training, guardrails also we will talk about separately. So all of this is already built in into the Studio. You are using the enterprise edition. Scalable role-based access control you can configure basically to do the data governance, serverless containers to run these. You can directly run basically using any of the hyperscalers behind the scenes. You don't need to worry about scaling or provisioning the machines. Can use the serverless on demand, whatever the containers. It will automatically uh, start cloning the containers based on the demand and start spinning up the machines to efficiently provision or process the requests. So all of these are, the features. You can go through this and then read again. Okay. You have docs, you have resources, so documentation here, CrewAI documentation, you will see. So some of the examples that I am walking through are taken from here. They have the tutorials as well. If you want to do some video from them also, you can watch. Okay. So you can install UV, configure API keys. We'll get into the IDEs next week. For now, we'll stick to Collab. Once you are familiar with, comfortable with this, then we will move on to the IDEs and then see how we can create as a project all of this in the IDEs. That when we do with the deployment, when we move to deployment. Okay. Triggers and flows for connecting Gmail, Slack, Salesforce, other components. If you want to integrate other products, that is also built in here. Then you have resources. What this is? Okay, that's case studies and all of that. Okay. Now, that is okay. Now let's get back here. See what we are doing. Okay. So the first use case we want to do is a research agent who can write an article. Okay, an agent to research and write an article about any topic that you would give. It's just like, you can do very basic chat GPT or Anthropic, write a research article on any of this. Okay. So you can do that. You can also build sophisticated, of course, that is also a multi-agentic platform right now. As I said, chat GPT or anything, they have, it's no more a chatbot, it's a full-fledged multi-agentic platform, AI tool, product that has integrations with all the resources, tools, and models, of course. So it's simple. What we do, we create a CrewAI. I'm just making it a fixed version so that you don't get issues. CrewAI tools, and LangChain community for some of the features. All you need to do is just install CrewAI and CrewAI tools. That's it for you to start using the CrewAI platform library. Once you build that, install that. So from CrewAI, you directly import agent and task crew. So these are the three that you would say. And as you can see internally, it also uses Pydantic. It's native for all of these structures. Let me see here. Okay, response. Any other questions while we are getting this? Taking a long time. Takes about 2 minutes to install all of the files. So today it's very slow. Okay. So that is done. We restart the session. And then we get here import agent, task, and crew. These three components. Okay. And this is the standard. I'm using OpenAI model. You can use any model as you wish. Was that? Then creating agents. So when you define your agents, you provide role, goal, and backstory. Okay. It's seen that because LLMs perform better when they are role playing. So even when you are doing any querying or any task with ChatGPT, you would always start, right? Hey, you are, so let's say you're applying for a job. You say, hey, you are a candidate applying for this job, or you are an expert in technical writing, something like that. So that kind of role you would also give to the agent. So we have here a planner, writer, and editor. So we designed our agentic application to write a article. So we said somebody will plan, right? And what to write, get the resources and all of that. The writer will actually go through all of those resources and then write the content. So once the content is written, we said there will be an editor who will edit that and then give out a final output. So these are the three agents we have visualized. Now, this is something where as an architect, as a solution architect, you have to design what agents you want and what roles they have to play in solving any of your problems. What is the business problem that you're solving? Of course, the variables can be different, but the overall solution architecture should be, it will remain same. That depends on how you design what agents you want and what role you want them to play. So first agent, as I said, the planner, the role is content planner. And the goal, what is the goal of this agent? To plan engaging and factually accurate content on topic. So whatever you're putting here in the braces is the variables. So when you actually run the crew, these variables will be passed along into each agent and each task. So wherever this variable names appear, automatically the agent will pass those variables to execution for the agent. Backstory. Backstory is basically you are giving a context to the agent. So you are working on planning a blog article about the topic. Again, same this topic. You collect information that helps the audience learn something and make informed decisions. Your work is the basis for the content writer to write an article on this topic. You're saying your work, whatever you are doing, it is the input or the basis for the next agent, the content writer agent, right? To write an article on this topic. Allow delegation is false, which means that this agent cannot delegate the work to other agents. It has to execute it by itself. Verbose true, it's just like, login thing, how much you want to show, right? Now, the
Arun,
next, yeah.
yeah, so those parameters, right? Like the topic
Mhm.
that you have, is
Mhm.
there a library where we can look at all the topic, all those parameters, or is this something that you just write it within those brackets and then
There is no
you?
library. This is you are defining whatever you want.
Okay.
You can have 10 parameters. So when you are writing a program, when you're writing a function,
Yeah.
you will decide how many variables you would need. You can add any number of variables here. There is no library. This is not fixed. This is something you will write.
So just with the brackets, then the
Yeah,
system will
just
consider
put the
that as a.
brackets, yeah, as a variable. That's it.
Nice. Okay.
Okay. So here again, you have an agent, another agent. This is a content writer agent. The goal of this agent is to write insightful and factually accurate opinion piece about the topic. Again, we are passing the same topic name all around. You're working on writing a new opinion piece about the backstory. Backstory is that you're writing a opinion piece on this. You base your writing on the work of content planner. You're telling this agent that you have to look at what content planner agent has already done, provided the output, who provides an outline, take that, and then you write your piece. You follow the main objectives and direction of the outline, whatever the previous agent has given you as provided by the content planner. You also provide object impartial insights and back them up with information provided. You acknowledge in your opinion piece when your statements are opinions, okay, as opposed to objective statements. Same thing, allow delegation purpose. Editor, another agent, role is editor. Goal is to edit a given blog post to align with writing style of the organization. Backstory, context you are giving, you are an editor who receives a blog post for the content writer. So you're receiving the blog post from the writer. Your goal is to review the blog post. You don't have to write or do anything. To ensure that it follows journalistic best practices, provides balanced viewpoints when providing opinions or assertions, and also avoids major controversial topics or opinions when possible. If there is something controversial or anything that is not recommended, so the editor will take care of all of that, cutting those dialogues or whatever sensitive things and all of that. So these are the three agents that you have created and you've pretty much given it in the backstory. But for the agent to go ahead and do that, it needs a task. So the next thing is you define the tasks. Task is where you define in much more detail. Okay, so you should consider all of this basically in all the when you write an agentic AI, it's mostly about prompt engineering. Remember in the first session we have done. So how best you can write your prompt to give it all the needed information. If you see, these are actually the prompts that you will write when you do any chat GPT and you're talking to conversations, right? You give all the instructions to the chat GPT. The same thing here, but it is split into the goal, backstory, and the task descriptions and all of that and output, everything. So we are splitting it and putting it in much more structured format and detailed format for each agent for each task. So the first task here is the planning task. I'm creating a planning task for the planning agent. What the description? Prioritize the latest trends, key players, and noteworthy news on this topic. So you first go check the latest trends, who are the key players in this, what are the noteworthy news that is on this topic, identify target audience, consider their interests and pain points, develop a detailed content outline, including an introduction, key points, and call to action. Include SEO keywords and relevant data or sources. So this is the description of the task for the plan. This is a planning task that we give it to the planning agent. What is the expected output? It's a comprehensive content plan document which can outline audience analysis, SEO keywords, and resources. This is what will be fed into this output is fed into the input for the next agent. So in the task itself, you would assign which agent is going to execute this task. So the planner agent, if you go here, it is called, the first one is called the planner agent. This is the agent, which is planner. So you are assigning this task to the planner. So first thing, you are attaching the task to the agent. And finally, these agents will be given to the overall crew when you create it. Second one, similar writing task. Again, you give content plan to craft a compelling blog post on topic, all of this. So you can read through. Basically, you're giving very detailed instructions. So you can see, 1 line, 2 line, 3 lines, 4 lines, but we have seen a detailed prompt that is running into 2 or 3 pages. So it's basically you're trying to put all the information, all the logic, pseudocode, whatever you want it to do, requirements basically into prompt. What it has to do, how it has to do, very detailed, very fine cooked, right? So all of that as prompts. Prompt engineering again plays a very important role, as I said, in the first session. It's how detailed and how specific you give the instructions to these agents. They perform much better. Output, well-written blog post, ready for publication. Each section should have 2 or 3 paragraphs. So agent is the writer agent. Same thing, edit, proofread the given blog post for grammatical errors, alignment with brand's voice, well-written blog post in markdown format, ready for publication. Again, 2 or 3 paragraphs, agent is editor. So once we have created individual agents and we have created tasks and attached the tasks to the agents. So now agent and tasks are attached and we have all the agents ready. Now we create a crew. So the crew it pass the tasks to be performed by those agents. Okay. For this simple, we do execution, the dependent on each other. So we will use sequential dependency. Now, we define a crew, just call a crew function, and then we pass all the agents and tasks. Of course, tasks are already attached to the agents, but again, we provide the same, what are the list of agents and tasks that are part of this crew, basically. Planner, writer, editor, plan, write, edit, verbose 2, crew, and did we run any of this? Okay. So we'll create planner, writer, editor, create the tasks, plan, write, edit. Okay. Now we create a crew. Done. Now we run the crew. Running the crew as simple as crew.kickoff. And see here you have to pass your variables. So all through the task and the crew, you have been using this variable called topic, right? So here, when you are running the crew, you have to pass this topic as your JSON inputs in the inputs equal to what is the variable and what is your topic name. Okay. So you run this, you want a opinion piece, a blog post article about artificial intelligence. So when you say that, it will start, first it will go to see content planner. starting task 1, executor, crew agent executor chain, content plan, unveiling the latest trends in artificial intelligence. All of this is given. Task output is content plan. It's all same thing. It also included the SEO keywords as we asked. It included the resources that we have asked. Forbes article, McKinsey report, OpenAI research paper, Deloitte study, call to action. Then see it passed on to the content writer. So then it is a task here. So the content writer is going through and writing all of these. This is all done by the writer. Then it passes on to the editor. So this is the task. Proofread the given blog post and align with the brand's voice. That's what we given in the task. Execute a chain. Now date answer. So going through all of this. And this is the put in the Markdown. So this is the blog post, unveiling the latest trends in artificial intelligence. What are the latest trends? 2-3 paragraphs, key players in the industry, noteworthy news, and all of this. Ethical concerns, impact of AI, and all of this. Okay. You can also do any of this, but as I said, Girish, you were talking about the parameters, right? So if I say this is what I'm passing, it will throw error. So what it does, see key error, topic, which means somewhere in your program, you are referring a variable called topic, but it cannot find that variable, to look into it. So if you say explain error, Gemini will come in for you and free. Okay. It means that the function is looking for a key named topic in the inputs dictionary. So this is a Python dictionary, right, that you're passing. But it found top instead. You need to change the key name in your inputs dictionary. So it says you need to send this as topic. Okay. Now I can say accept and run. So now it runs. So it's changed. So this is my topic, crypto trends. So it will do all of that blog post and everything for the crypto trends. As usual, you can try with other APIs and other models that you can explore, can use. But yeah, it will go through. So just you change the topic and you can rerun the agent. So once you run and deploy the agent, you can just keep passing the topics to it, and then it will start generating the blog posts. Okay. So if you have multiple variables, you have to pass all of that variables in the dictionary. Okay. Or it can be like, you get the variables from the first agent's output that can be passed as input to the other agent. That is also possible. Are we good with this? Can we move to the next one? Any questions?
Yeah, I was just not like an observation. This CrewAI looks like the agents are sequential by default, right?
Yes. Yes.
And with Agno framework, I think parallelism is default, not sequential. So I'm seeing that as a big difference for the different types of use cases.
Maybe, but Agno should also have framework will definitely provide you some kind of levers that if you want sequential or parallel, they cannot just say, hey, we will only run parallel or sequential. So here it gives you 3 different options. I haven't looked deep into it, but yeah, there is a hierarchical, there is sequential, there is parallel. Okay. I think Agno will also have some kind of things built in. It's not the default. Default should be something, but you can always override or provide what kind of
It's
process.
just that agents and Agnos can run in parallel.
Yes.
But here, I think it's by default it's sequential in CrewAI. I don't know what it takes to run like multiple agents in parallel for CrewAI.
No, you can provide, right? So that's what I said. You can say process dot sequential, process dot hierarchical. Remember I have shown you here. Where's that? Role tools, collaboration. Here, when you create the crew, you can do process.hierarchical. So here it has three modes: hierarchical, sequential, and parallel. So you can give the process what you want to run. If you don't give default, it will be sequential.
Sounds good, thanks.
And it follows the sequence of the list that you pass here when you're creating the crew. Planner, writer, and editor. So it takes. So here you can also give you want what kind of processing that you would want to. Let me see here. See, we have used here process.hierarchical in this example. Okay, so this is the second example. What we are trying to see, we are trying to do a trading team workflow for financial analysis. So these are the different agents that we have envisioned: a data analyst, a trading strategy, trade advisor, risk advisor, and the crew manager. Okay. Don't go over semantics or very deep of what they should do or what they should not do. Just at this point of time, just think of, we're trying to see how the agents can collaborate with each other. Okay. Same thing, we will run the libraries. It should be quick because we have already handed and same agent task crew. So from CrewAI tools, we can get, since we are importing the CrewAI library, so remember that we have tools, right? CrewAI tools. So there are a lot of tools that you can use. CrewAI documentation. So here, what are the default tools that are, should be somewhere. Just install CrewAI tools, and from that you can look at all of the tools that are available: directory read tool, file read tool, Serper dev tool, website search tool. So all of this you can directly use from the CrewAI itself. They have onboarded all of these tools. Tavili search tool is also there. I mean, it's preferred web search tool that natively integrated with CrewAI. Right. So these tools already on the platform that you can use directly, or as I said, you can create your own tools or from other library and then use the same tools here as well. Okay. As I said, LLMs, models, you can use any of these models that they have here. just like this, create your own, model and then use it, many of this. Okay. Let's get back here. Basically, yes. So we are again creating agent task through. We are using OpenAI key for model 3.5 turbo. I'm using Serper API key for search. I don't know whether it is used. Serper dev tool from CrewAI tools, scrape website tool and Serper dev tool. So I've created those two tools, just like, using these libraries here. And then I started creating my agents. So data analyst agent, trading strategy agent. So I give role as data analyst, and then monitor, analyze market data, backstory, specializing in financial markets. This agent uses statistical modeling and machine learning to provide crucial insights with a knack for data. The data analyst agent is the cornerstone for informing trading decisions. Purpose true, allow delegation true. These are the tools that this agent can use. Scrape tool and such tool. So basically we have only just two tools and we're just passing around to all of this. You can also use Yahoo Finance tool. Also provide that tool for the agent if it wants to use Yahoo Finance or Bloomberg Finance, whatever tools that are available, you can also use that. Trading strategy, deep understanding of financial markets, quantitative analysis. So you can read through what we are providing as a role, goal, and backstory. Okay, same thing for keep writing what are execution agent, trading execution strategies it will do. There is a backstory to it, right? Risk management agent, evaluate and provide insight on the risks associated with trading activities. This detailed analysis of risk exposure, safeguards to ensure that trading activities align with the firm's risk tolerance and all of that. So once we do, excuse me. Once we create this, create the tools, create agents, execution agent, risk management agent, and then we create the tasks. So in the tasks, again, you see here, the variable here is stock selection. So we want to run all of this analysis for a particular stock. Okay. So we can do continuously monitor, analyze market data for selected stock. What is this stock? Is it NVIDIA, Apple, Meta, whatever we want to, Apple, Netflix, whatever, we can pass that stock name here and it will run all of this. Then there is risk tolerance. What is my risk tolerance and what is the trading strategy preference I want to get? So these are all different parameters that are available in this, that I'm passing to this workflow, agentic application. So there is a stock selection, there is risk tolerance, trading strategy, performance, preference, sorry. Then there is execution planning task. Again, stock selection is passed here. Risk assessment task. For the agents. So here we'll create a crew and process. And see here, financial trading crew. We have all of these agents. We have all of these tasks. We have a manager LLM. You can also add a manager LLM for the crew. Crew itself can have an LLM model for manager LLM. This is again the same model I'm using, right? And everywhere, if you see when we are doing all of these agents, so you can also choose to give a different model to each of these agents. Okay. or you can choose to have the same manager LLM model to be used across. We have this. Where is this LLM model? Whatever we are creating here, this LLM, the same thing you can also give for any of the agents as well. So if I go here, agent, and then just say LLM. And okay, you can choose to have different models and for each of the agents, as I said. Now here I'm passing the inputs. Stock selection is NVIDIA, initial capital, not sure if we are using this, but risk tolerance is very high. Trading strategy preference, I want to do day trading. New impact consideration is true. Somewhere these two are not used, but yeah, you can choose to use any of these variables within the agents. And then you pass all of this dictionary to the crew kickoff. So read data analyst is called. So it's the same thing. It will continue to call delegate to coworker is happening. Search query it is framing. Trading strategies for NVIDIA stock with high risk tolerance. So this is the query that it has framed to search the internet with the provided tools that we have for the trading strategy developer, coworker. So this is the task, context, all of that. So it got all of these resources. How to trade NVIDIA, earnings, two options, trading strategies. So it has gone through all of these resources. But it has got the final answer after analyzing the real-time market data, considering the user's high risk tolerance. This trading strategy developer has compiled a list of potential trading strategies for NVIDIA. Okay. This is the data analyst. Recent trends, I think the previous one, it's just showing that. Purpose, lot of logging happening here. So it is also saying that unable to retrieve key factors to consider from the specified website, whatever website it went to. It has risk analysis here, final, and then this is the final report that it has given, risk analysis for NVDA based on all of that information. Fluctuation with the price closing at 184. Key factors to improve company's performance, migration strategies, whatever, setting stop loss orders, whatever it is given, just a summary of the risk analysis report. But this may not be very useful for us, what it is talking about, but that's what we try to achieve based on all of these agents. What is the risk strategy, risk analysis that we can do? So you can change any of the parameters that we are talking about. Here, you can change any stock selection. You can change risk tolerance to low or strategy preference to long-term trading or whatever, and then rerun the crew to get the desired output, the results. So basically, that's the how you design these workflows. And then once you define your all of this, all you need to do is invoke this crew.kickoff. Of course, I mean, even it's like one crew will have the team, but you can have multiple teams, you can have multiple crews also as part of the same application. And then you can combine all crews also. So it's up to you how you want to design the application. So once this is there, you package all your application. Your entry point to the application will be to call this crew kickoff and then pass whatever is the inputs that you are sending to the application. Okay, so that is about the CrewAI platform. Any questions before we wrap up? Yes, no? All good? Everybody? Gyan, Satya, Pradeep, Hema, Nabi, Ganesh, Veda.
It's good, but we need practice.
Yeah. You definitely need a lot of practice. Yes, that is one thing that
Arun, my question would be like, from your personal experience, which framework? I think you covered so far Agno and this one. Are you going to cover LangChain or anything?
LangChain we have already done. LangChain is just the basic framework.
Right,
I mean, all
right,
of these frameworks are built using LangChain.
right. So maybe I think LangGraph.
Yes, correct.
Maybe I want to
Yeah.
compare between LangGraph, CrewAI, and Agno, right? So
Yeah.
from your experience, like which one you think is giving more flexibility to move faster and production ready?
The flexibility I see more in CrewAI, right? LangGraph is also used. It's more in LangGraph you have more control over how you want to decide the. It's kind of a hybrid. How you want to do the execution pattern, right? The autonomously you can decide nodes and edges, and then give some kind of structure to the workflow. So you have more control in the LangGraph. But it's kind of a little, not too much, but a little complicated to implement than when compared to CrewAI. So you have to design all of those nodes, edges, and then add those edges and nodes to make it a graph-like structure, to look at. We might, based on the time, right? So we will explore and see one small line graph example if available. We'll see that. But as I say, ease of use and quick to scale as quick to production, CrewAI has all of those features, easy to implement as well as robust and scalability, everything. Having said that, if you're already on any of the hyperscale platforms, AWS or Azure or Microsoft or Google, you may also look at the existing frameworks. But when I looked at some of those like Vertex AI, I don't see a lot of features there when compared to even Langflow that we have. Autogen might be good, but it was initially, but I think it is losing the steam right now.
I don't know why overall Microsoft AI started off well, but Copilot, Autogen, everything is taking a backseat now.
Backseat, yes. Yeah, I think Google is moving forward. I mean, I've seen the report recently that even ChatGPT, OpenAI, ChatGPT is losing market to Anthropic and Google. Gemini Pro is making way ahead. It's making a lot of progress. From 70%, that's almost lost 4-5% of the share, I think, OpenAI in the recent months. Google has made 20-30% growth, the models, Gemini Pro usage, basically. But yeah, it is there, right? So you have a early start, an early bird, first starter advantage. You capture the market. But to stay there, it's difficult because the others are catching up. You will ultimately, just for diversity, you will lose some market. And then the players are already They are not like new players, right? Google and other ones, they are already there. They have a strong user base, strong technical things. So research. So they are not far behind. You get a lot of competition. Anthropic is also doing very well because they are working very focused on adoption, basically, like bringing in MCPs and very focused on that. While OpenAI is trying to be everywhere. That's the problem. Okay. Anything else before we wrap up? All good?
So one last question.
Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead. Somebody went before me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
go-
these package the versions are changing rapidly, right? How we can manage in production? Because if it changes continuously, because we see that LangChain, multiple import package related things, our names are changing. So how can we manage?
Yeah, that's why you do this, right? Once, so see here, you freeze your version numbers here, library. Okay. They will not make change to this. Once they make any change, the version number will change. Okay. So as long as you are using these, it will never break. But if you remove this and just say
Okay.
pip install CrewAI tools, it will always install the latest version by default. So the latest version might have like changed the libraries. So that's when you get compatibility issues. When you do in the development, first you do figure out all the dependencies and compatibilities. When you see your application is all running, you are not getting any library issues, then you export whatever is the version number and freeze those. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the libraries, that's what I said, right? So dependencies you figure out in your dev. Once your application is all running, you freeze that and you deploy that into production.
Yeah. My question is, all these things that we practice on these notebooks, right? When we need to deploy this in production, like let's say a hyperscaler, like in AWS, how do you package this? Is this going to be like running on an EC2, or what is the strategy to deploy?
Yeah, so we will get into the deployment in next week or sometime. So this is just to start, right? To get comfortable with the just the using the components, understanding and all of that. So next week we'll move into the IDEs, how you structure your project, how you have your components, just like any other Python application if you want to deploy.
Okay, sounds good.
You can use VS Code, create a project, create all requirements, TXT, environment variables, everything. And then you deploy this as a CI/CD pipeline, whatever, like either to your Azure Functions, AWS Lambda, or Docker container, and then deploy that on the cloud. Same architectures. We'll touch upon that when we get into the deployment. One example we'll walk through, but we'll get into the IDEs next week. VS Code, Gravity, we'll look at those next week.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Apologies, we had having some network issues today. I will try to figure that out. Okay. Have a great rest of the day. We'll meet tomorrow with more frameworks to explore. We'll just go through a few frameworks. We'll talk about that tomorrow to wrap up the Agentic AI. Not completely, but just the framework part of it. All right. Thank you. Take care. Good day.
Thank you. Thank you.